Can hide this. Cool. A little bit of a disclaimer. Do you hear me now? Wow, this is cool. All right. So I usually start my presentations by this, a disclaimer: AI is complex. Don't try it in house. And hopefully by end of this presentation, you will be convinced about my reasoning, why it's that, and why you shouldn't try it in house. As for myself, about me, my name is Amir. I love building things. I have been building AI infrastructure and AI development tools since 2018, with the focus mainly on computer vision and NLP back then. And with Onbody now, I'm the founder and CEO, which is a more towards large language models, NLP driven and data driven framework, development framework. In a nutshell, what we do, we make AI development less complex, particularly for AI, for non-AI developers, full stack developers, iOS developers, front end, back end. So anyone coming from non-AI background. Today I will be talking about this mysterious about two extreme. One extreme is about basically saying AI is not production ready. Those are, I guess, they are boring people. On the other side of this extreme, we have people who get excited and say, hey, wow, let's build it. We can do it. It's so easy. OpenAI API, there we go. Hook it in, and then we have an app. Well, both of them are wrong. And today I'm trying to explain that. When you look at the AI from a business perspective, this is basically pretty much 90% of our customers coming to us and say, hey, we want to have our own perplexity. We want to have ChatGPT, but with our own data. We want to have GitHub Autopilot, but with our own documentation. These are like pretty much the standard demands when it comes to AI application making. And the good news is that behind the scene, they all sharing the same technology, which is called RAG. Sorry, first buzzword. RAG stands for retrieval augmented generation. In a nutshell, how it works, basically, it means ChatGPT on top of your data. So user asks something, for example, what is my flight number to London, right? Then it goes and look into your documents, find the relevant information, so narrow down the scope of the whatever operation is. That is called retrieval. So you retrieve all the related information to what user has asked. Then it sends it to a large language model together with the user query, and large language models generate the response for it. That's it. Simple, right? Before going further, let me show you two live examples of RAG that we have built with using Onbody. One of them is, no, let me first go with this one. So this entire blog that you can see is generated out of just video files, nothing else. No data curation, no the content management, just a folder. This community, AI thinkers, they dump their video files from the recording, and this entire blog is generated by AI Onbody. It even creates these categories, categorize each video, come up with the title, description, like the way how Netflix does it, for example. The cool thing is that you can now start asking questions. For example, who did talk about postcode in UK, right? And then, so now again, the same story is happening. First, it understands the intention, the question, then find the relevant result, retrieval, and then generate something, right? Again, but this is again only top of videos, nothing else. There was no text given. You can also go to the video and of course watch the videos. You can see these titles are extracted, the summary is extracted, these keywords already generated for it. So human involvement almost zero in this, entirely just video files purely. Or you can also ask questions about the particular video that you are in. For example, you can see, say, what is the main topic of this video in 3 words. I hope it's gonna respect that. But again, understanding the question or the user query, retrieve all the relevant information, and there you go. Generate some response based on that. Okay, another example I'm gonna show, it's basically like many of you, I have thousands of images on my laptop and on desktop, a lot of screenshots, a lot of PDFs that I have downloaded for no reason. I don't know why. So this is like 10,000 files. I hook it up to our system, and then I build this system like a visual search engine on top of it. Again, for example, I can say dark theme UI. So what this is going to do, again, it's only based on images, nothing else given, right? So based on that, it already knows, okay, what are the dark theme UI, for example. Or you can say meme about London, right? And because in April I was giving a presentation in London, I made this meme, and it understands the concept even, right? It can be also even more. For example, you can say, what is my flight number to London? So this time, it's not only going to find the relevant result, which obviously should be the boarding pass. It understands the boarding pass is the most relevant information, but also extract that information from you. That's the generation part, right? Easy. If I show you the line of code behind this, you won't believe it, but it's one line of code. I will skip it. So back to the presentation, the boring stuff. Now you saw a couple of examples, some of the real world examples. Now let's dig into. So again, a simple question. Imagine we are building a RAG or a kind of AI pipeline for IKEA, right? The user asks a white chair with minimal look. Perfect. You send it to your RAG, you get the things with that. But then this type of search already existed 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's just keyword matching, right? You don't want to use AI for such a thing. The challenge starts and the excitement starts here. What if user asks a white chair with minimal look in Amsterdam store, right? So here, user is not only asking for some relevant information. It also expect you. It asks you for exact parameter in your database. So you need another module in between before sending it to your RAG, which we call query parsing. You need to understand user intention. You need to analyze what user has asked. So you need to convert this to concepts, but also filters, and then to geolocation. So you can find a radius within the radius area of that, and then find the result. Let's get a bit more complicated. A white chair with minimal look in Amsterdam store, which one is the easiest to assemble, right? So now we need to know the previous one, but now in order to answer to know which one is the most easy to assemble, you just looking at your primary database doesn't help you. You need to also look into all the manual PDFs. You need to look at the YouTube videos, and that's where the context comes around. So if you want to build a successful RAG for the production, you cannot rely on purely your database. You need to combine multiple sources together to be able to provide the best answer to your users. Otherwise, it's not going to be really real world application in a way. And that's why when you look at that extreme, AI is not ready for production. Yes, if you just rely on your database, AI is not ready for production. But you need to know what you're doing. You need to give as much as context as possible to your RAG and provide it. Another thing here is that, let's say you have thousands of documents, let's say PDF documents, each one of them has hundreds of pages. At the scale and in production, you cannot go through all of these because you don't want to wait your user for 30 seconds, 1 minute to find a single answer. You want it to be fast, like the example I showed you, right? So what's the technique here? Instead of what you do, you create a shadow database or attach metadata and pre-compile it, pre-process it to your document. So you say, for example, hey, go look at each document, come to your database. Before you put it into the database, first make a summary of each document, attach it to it. Or extract this particular keyword, attach it to it. Extract the answer for particular questions that I know my users are going to ask, store it back in the database, and generate captions for images, etc., etc. So this way, when the user query comes in, instead of going through thousands of PDF pages, all you need to go is thousands of one-line sentences to find the relevant information. So that is also something we call at Onbody pre-compiled data enhancement. So I'm saying this because if you want to build something, you need to also consider that as well. The other part, if you're making anything user facing, anything that you have users are using it, you need to make sure you are monitoring your entire pipeline. What goes to the user from the model, what comes back from the user to the model, and store it back, review it, rate it, weight it, and put it there again. Otherwise, again, of course, you are not going to make AI at production level. So this is another challenge or another thing I wanted to tell you. And the last one is actually a big misconception. So far, I have shown you RAG, what RAG is. But the bad news is that RAG is not going to cut it off if you want to build an application. The RAG gives you, yes, a good search. It gives you a better chatbot. But if you want to build anything like AI native, truly AI native, you need way more than that. You need query parsing, as I show you. You need data enhancement. You need CDN, video streaming, audio streaming. You need content API. You need fine-tuning, private LLMs, or small language models, or even traditional models sometimes. Okay, let's say you get all of this covered. Again, if you want to go on a scale, you need way more than that too. You need, again, analytics and monitoring. You need compliances and security. So in a second, it becomes a whole complex situation. And that's why I said, don't try it at home. I have one more basically demo to show. Okay, let me. Okay. I hope this is good. Yeah, okay. Let me start again. So this is basically a demo for one of our enterprise clients. Unfortunately, I can't name it, but they have actually developed this demo using Onbody, and now they have already MVP ready as well. But this is the demo. The data set behind this is essentially a huge list of URLs, and whatever you see is generated and automated by Onbody. So what you can say, for example, hey, can diet help with anxiety, right? So the idea is to help the people, the user, finding the most relevant therapies for them. And then again, so it goes and finds those people. Let me put this on this, maybe this is better. Okay. And find the relevant result, give an expression what it does. You can also ask, okay, why this particular person? It explains why this particular person. You can also go here and start chatting with this person. And by the way, again, all this information is already curated by AI, no human involved. So you can start asking, for example, how can Marianne help me with anxiety? There you go. You can find it for you. Or you can go back here and say, for example, I don't know, 1 second. I have anxiety and I'm in Amsterdam, right? So here again, the system is supposed to understand what you're talking about, your intention, and again, find the most relevant information for you and find people who are in Amsterdam. Again, you should also be aware of some edge scenarios. For example, if I talk about I want to kill myself, sorry for that, but well, we are talking about real world application. So your model should not answer, right? So you have also these edge cases you need to watch out for. Overall, I think that was what. Oh yeah, the last slide is okay. Now you know what it takes to make an application, what is behind the AI and what we call RAG. Now let's see what are the options we have. First option, you go to all those no-code platforms, and they have started popping up after ChatGPT. And of course, they can build you cool things, a chatbot, but at the end of the day, you end up with a toy. It's not scalable, it's not production ready, it's good for proof of concept with a lot of limitations. Another thing is to go on, find a freelancer. They do a great job. They build you a wrapper around OpenAI. Of course, it gets you going. But a month later, when OpenAI obsolete the model, then you are basically have no choice. You're broken, maybe. So you don't want to rely on that. It's not reliable. The other choice you have is go and hire a team of developers. I spent a couple of months, 6 months, find a lot of developers, AI engineers, data scientists, make a team, and then they will ask you, okay, we need also 3 to 4 months to make something that is robust and scalable. And yeah, but who can afford that apart from multi-million dollar companies? I'm talking about SMEs, small to medium-sized businesses. It's not really affordable. And that basically comes to option that we offer. If you don't have that money and if you want to build something robust, and Hilario, stop me if this is too much of promotion. I really try to not to be so okay. Oh, by the way, this community is great. We found our first enterprise client in AI Builders community, so stick around. It's really good. How we solve the problem with Onbody? We basically say, okay, data can come to Onbody from anywhere, any location, in any format. It can either come from data platforms like Notion, Microsoft 360, Discord, etc., or it can come from custom integration. You have your data on MySQL, MongoDB, Amazon S3, or you can also use something we call push API that you send directly with your own schema, you send the data. Then what happens here? All those gibberish things, all those processes that I talked to you and told you about is automated here. Basically, we automated. You select. You say, okay, I want to have image captioning. I want to have text summarization. This particular chunking strategy. Then this particular model for text. This particular open source model for images, etc. And we take care of also the database. Then take care of security and compliances. We give you monitoring and analytics. We do give you video streaming and audio platforms. We give you fine-tuning all in one line of code. So at the end of the day, you just write, okay, onbody.google docs generate. This is your chatbot. You say videos find similar. So that's your visual similarity search engine. Text block search. That's your multi-source on top of text. Doesn't matter coming from Google Docs or PDFs. That's a semantic search. That's a chat on top of PDFs. That's Gmail classifiers. That is basically analytic on top of your model, and that's the fine-tuning. One line of code, literally, with no hassle. And now I want to end up with one question. That demo I show you about the mental health care. Make a guess. How long do you think it took them to make it from zero? How would you? With your engine? No, without. In regular situation, like with the current tool, when on a structured lang chain or whatever. 4 weeks. It took 3 days, and 2 days was just front end. So the entire AI pipeline coding, I can show you here. Onbody.io, live demo, and let's make a RAG for images. This is the entire line of code you need for make a RAG on top of your images. Perfect. I think that was, I guess, the message I wanted to give. Oh, I'm going to skip through all this comparison we made with multi-dollar products out there because I think they are just primitive. That's the best word, probably. Anyway, it was... Sorry? You set the scene. Well, they are not here, so it wouldn't be fair. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm Amir, and again, if you want to start building or if you have any question, I'm here to talk. Thank you.
Amir, maybe you can say there's any question for Amir that you would like to ask right now. Anyone?
Yes.
Michelle?
Can you say something about scalability of the platform?
What do I need? What do you want to know? Like concurrent users or an amount of data coming?
Yeah. So the question. Wow. So the question just for the recording is: can you say something about scalability of the platform in terms of simultaneous users? For instance?
Yeah, sure. We have done some stress testing. As we speak, we can handle 10,000 queries per second simultaneous. As for the data, we do have some limitations, but depending on our client, because we do have also on-premise license, we can spin up the whole new service or microservice for them as well. So that shouldn't be a problem. But we do handle until we did stress test with PDFs of 100,000. No worries.
Anyone else? Yeah. Can you give you the mic? Thank you.
Oh, by the way, to continue to that answer, in January 25, we become completely open source. So then, yeah, if there is a scalability concern, that should be solved by that.
I'm sorry. There is a problem. I didn't have a chance to check inside your servers. Is it SaaS, a solution as a service, or is it platform as a service, or is it infrastructure as a service, or is it a coding systems? Which kind of services is actually?
We categorize ourselves as SaaS, software as service, but you can name it whatever you want. We have two types of pricing model or two parameters for pricing. Basically, we calculate your usage by looking at the processing time. So how much of time it took our servers to process your data every month. So that's one parameter. The second parameter is basically the number of API calls you made in each month. So these two basically makes our pricing. Yeah, usage price.
Well, basically, it's a closed service where you provide services and not like I can't run your service within my infrastructure.
Not yet, unless you're an enterprise, so you can go with the on-premise license, or you wait for Q1 25 when we release the open source.
Let me start with that model.
Thanks.
Amir, thank you so much.
No worries, my pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
One more applause. Amazing. Sebas, you want to go for it?
Good.
Yeah, that's yours, but you can plug in your